British authorities say they've stopped a terrorist plot to bomb as many as 10 cross-Atlantic flights. A coalition of ex-defense officials warns against Seoul's move to reclaim wartime operational command. A Korean company looks to capitalize on the discovery of an offshore gas field near Myanmar.
Hello and welcome to KBS World News Today. It's Friday, August 11th. Authorities in Britain say they foiled a major terrorist plot to blow up as many as 10 flights headed to the United States. 24 suspects, all British-born Muslim men, have been arrested by British authorities. Here's more on the details.
British authorities have caught terrorist suspects trying to board planes with explosives. Their first targets were planes departing from Britain for the United States, with 6 to 10 of the planes belonging to American carriers.
We have disrupted a plan by terrorists to cause untold death and destruction and to commit, quite frankly, mass murder.
Reports say 5 major U.S. cities, including Washington, New York, and several in California, might have been targeted. The suspects were caught trying to board planes with liquid explosives. They apparently plan to strike within a few days. British police say the suspects were British nationals of Asian descent and that they're investigating with cooperation from the U.S. and other major countries. Pakistani authorities also helped foil the terrorist plot. The United Kingdom has raised its terror alert to its highest level, and police are searching the residences of the suspects. Most airports in Europe, including London's Heathrow, have beefed up security and canceled flights. The United States is also on high alert as the 5th anniversary of the September 11th terrorist attacks isn't far away. Washington says the terrorist attempt is apparently the work of Al-Qaeda and has issued a red alert for private airliners operating between the U.S. and Britain.
A group of ex-defense ministers and reserve generals has strongly criticized President Roh Moo-hyun's recent assertion that the nation is ready to take over wartime operational command of its military forces at any time. The group issued an announcement Thursday calling for parliamentary oversight of the matter.
Former defense ministers on Thursday announced a statement opposing President Roh Moo-hyun's recent rhetoric that the nation's military is ready to reassume wartime operational control at any time. They called for public and parliamentary approval of Seoul's resumption of command, while warning that the handover of control held potentially enormous risks to the nation's finances and security.
군대 안보 상임으로서 당연히 전 국민의 의사를 묻고 국회의 절차를 거칠 것을 요구한다.
The country's political circles seem to be split on the matter. Ruling Uri party officials said that politicians who asked foreign militaries to command the South Korean army are not qualified to hold power.
한나라당과 일부 세력이 이 문제를 가지고 안보 불안을 부추기는 것은 매우 무책임할 뿐만 아니라
Meanwhile, the conservative Grand National Party said its leadership would meet with the president if necessary to sway him to the GNP's view on the matter. The main opposition party added that Roh was merely using the security issue for political gain.
선동적 아마추어적 방식에 기인한 것으로서 국군 통수권자로서의 판단에 우려를 금하지 않을 수 없습니다.
The Democratic Party, for its part, called for postponing discussions on the command takeover to the next administration, while the Labour Democratic Party said it agrees with the president in principle. Ruling and opposition parties will discuss the matter next week at a National Defense Committee meeting presided over by Defense Minister Yoon Kwang-eun.
Korean companies are becoming increasingly high-profile players in the global competition to secure energy sources. One such company is Daewoo International, which has discovered a large gas field off the coast of Myanmar.
Daewoo International Corporation has found a large gas field off the west coast of Myanmar. The field comprises 2 mine concessions and can hold up to 10 trillion cubic feet of gas. Around 5 trillion to 8.5 trillion cubic feet are usable as resources. Korea uses about 1 trillion cubic feet of gas a year, so the field can supply the country's demand for at least 5 years and as long as 8.5 years. Korea holds a large share of the new field and can acquire a considerable amount of interest from development.
5도쯤 되는 거를 찾았다. 그러면은 우리는 우리 회사가 60%, 가스공사가 10%니까 그거의 70%가 우리 거라고 이제 보는 거죠.
Daewoo from the year's second half will begin negotiations with countries showing interest in the field, such as India, China, and Thailand. If sales are launched in 2008 after negotiations, Korea's self-development ratio for energy will rise from 4% to 6%. Daewoo's securing of rights for the Myanmar gas field follows the Korea National Oil Corporation's acquisition of development rights for oil sand in Canada last month. More Korean companies are expected to take part in the overseas energy rush.
Korean scientists have developed extremely fine calcium powder using state-of-the-art nanotechnology. Clinical tests prove that the substance, which is easily absorbed by the body, is effective in treating osteoporosis.
This is calcium powder made from oyster shells. While conventional calcium particles are larger than 10 microns and spike-shaped, these calcium particles generated with dry-type nanopulverization are round in shape and measure 10 to 20 nanometers, only 1,000th the size of conventional particles, making it easy for the body to absorb. A team of Inje University researchers led by Professor Shim Young-gi found a way to produce hyperfine calcium powder using dry-type nanopulverization technology. In this way, a substance can be divided into nanometer-sized particles without destroying its components.
온도를 가하면 성분이 파괴되기 때문에 식품을 나노화한다고 하는 것은 전부 꿈 같은 이야기였었죠. 저희들은 40도 이상 올라가지가 않습니다. 온도가. 그렇기 때문에 어떠한 식물성, 동물성 식품도 전부 나노로 만들 수 있습니다.
In an animal test, osteoporotic mice that were given nanocalcium powders for 3 months subsequently regained normal bone density. Also, some 50 patients with osteoporosis and spinal problems showed considerably increased bone densities after taking more than 880 milligrams of nanocalcium a day.
전혀 움직일 수 없는 그런 분이 이제 이 나노칼슘 같은 거 먹게 됐죠. 물론 이제 양을 좀 많이 해서 이제 먹었습니다만은 그것이 한 6개월 내지 1년 정도 하니까 활발하게 움직일 수 있는 그런 여건이 되더라고요. 그래서
The team is now seeking to commercialize their breakthrough nanocalcium powder.
The Korean Intellectual Property Office says the country owns the most source technologies related to the wireless broadband service Wibro. Power consumption in the country has hit record highs for 3 consecutive days due to hot weather, with electricity use recording 57.2 million kilowatts on Thursday. National soccer team head coach Pim Verbeek has announced the final roster for the 2007 Asian Cup. The 20-player list is dominated by veterans of this year's World Cup campaign in Germany. Lee Seung-yup has hit homer number 36 this season for Japan's Yomiuri Giants. The blast was especially gratifying for Lee as he had a hit disallowed due to bad officiating on Wednesday in a game against the Yakult Swallows.
Lee Seung-yup blasted a homer against the Yakult Swallows, seeking revenge for a debacle in Wednesday's game against the same team. In the top of the 8th inning, Lee took a pitch from Swallows reliever Hirotoshi Ishii over the left fence. He broke a 5-game drought with the homer, his 36th of the season and the 404th of his career. Lee was still fuming at the referees after a bad call Wednesday robbed him of a hit against the Swallows. Lee appeared aggressive from the get-go, apparently still furious over being robbed. He had a hit into right field in the 2nd inning, followed by a crucial sacrifice fly in the 6th that drove in a run. Then in the 8th, he left no doubt by blasting an undisputed solo homer. Lee's team will file a complaint with the Secretariat of Japan Central League over Wednesday's bad call. The Giants lost the game 7-2, but Lee continues his march toward the home run title this season.
Well, school's out for the summer and the kids are generally running amok. But some children are using their vacation to learn about traditional values at small village schools in the countryside. Let's take a look now at how these children are spending their summer holidays.
You would be hard-pressed to find a computer or even a cell phone in this small village school deep in the mountains. Instead, one can hear the resonating voices of children reading traditional books amid the heat of summer. Children who once thought studying Chinese characters was tedious work now find it fun.
집에서는 수학하는 게 힘들어요. 여기서는요, 한자를 하는 게 재밌어요.
These children spend the hot summer days learning to sit up straight and to bow respectfully to their elders. The most difficult aspects of their time here are the early morning wake-up calls and being away from their parents. It takes just a few days for them to realize how much they miss mom and dad.
운전님께 꾸중 들고 위로받고 싶을 때 그때 어머니, 아버지께 빼다고 싶다고 꼭 있었으면 좋겠다고 생각이 들었어요.
Through the clear water and the picturesque mountains, nature also teaches them the value of life.
가재도 우리처럼 생명이 있기 때문에 우리랑 같이 살라고 놔주라고 했어요.
The tough schoolmaster finds the experience all the more worthwhile when he sees once unruly children transform into well-mannered darlings.
요즘 어린이들이 정신이 없어요. 우리나라 정신도 없고 또 자기 조상 정신도 없고 지정신도 없고 정신 좀 챙겨주려고 그 정신을 가르치고 있는 거예요.
It looks as though these children will not soon forget their summer vacations spent in this small school away from home.
And here are the economic indicators for August 11th. That's it for KBS World News Today. Enjoy the weekend, and thanks for watching.